brain works bored, and some of the information is very repetitive over and over and over and over again. And so it's like looking for a needle in a needle stack. And people haven't found out, discovered, or researched how to use the brain to create the best human beings. It's not there. It's not there. And so I had to embrace change. So I had to pause after I finished cussing and being mad as hell and saying, fuck them. I had to assess why this is not happening, address it, and then accept that I have to do this from scratch again, again, again. So the change that I'm making is this doesn't exist. And this is how I got to making my own content, because I was using OPCs and it wasn't working for me. So now I have to embrace the fact that this is going to be extremely efforted on my part. And I said this to my child, every time I think I'm making progress, here comes another layer of the onion that has to be peeled back. And I'm going, oh, got it. So now not only is it neurological, but now it's neurogenesis, it's neuroplasticity, and it hasn't been taught. So now I have to teach it. And now I have to discover on my own how to teach it, because the resources that are available aren't the resources that I need. And I've used this example before. If you need to build something, you can order the tools online. You could go to Lowe's or Home Depot or Harbor Freight and tractor place. I forgot. Nola will tell me. You can order things online. But if you have to make the pine, if you have to make the DeWalt drill, if you have to make the drill bit, it's going to take longer, because now you have to make the tools in order to use the tools to make the thing that you need to make. And that's where I'm at. But I have to embrace that this is part of the process. So the change is I'm an educator. My doctorate is in organizational leadership. And now it's in neuropability. That's the change that I have to embrace. So that's where I am. Excuse me. So Nola, yours is, I did research on flag football. It's something I'm familiar with, but I did a deep dive to understand the entire system. It's embrace change because I had to understand the difference to support it. Yes, ma'am. And then Kevin, when you get an opportunity, and I know Lola is working. So that's the change that I had to embrace. And one thing about change is you definitely, the more you change, the more you become a real leader, the more you advance your mind, the bigger the embrace has to be for the change, because higher power, God in the universe, will make sure that it's still a challenge for you and that it requires faith to get to and through this change that you're doing. Kevin, I have accepted the fact that the quality of food at my favorite restaurant will never be the same since the previous owner had retired from cooking. And so are you going to continue to go to that restaurant, or are you going to look at a different restaurant? Because that happened for us. El Pollo Loco changed their chicken, and Nola got food poisoning twice from it. So we had to find another restaurant to go to, because we only have like 4 when we're on the go that we can go to. And you get tired of eating the same 3 meals. I think we're back at 3, because we have Cane's, Shake Shack, El Pollo Loco. What is it? Rubio's, and Whole Foods. And then the Jamaican place, but that's kind of far. You got to change locations, and that's difficult. And we've had to do that with Del Taco as well. And that they one of our managers at one, she went to another location, and then we don't know what happened to Ashley. But when Sylvia left, the service went down. When Ashley left, the service went down. And so we're like, can't go there anymore. So that's unfortunate. And to think about that, as I said with my coffee, when I did find a second alternative in Henderson, so there's a second person, not as good as Arlie, but very close to being able to make my decaf caramel breve extra hot. Yeah, that's it. So yes, they can. She can do it as well. So that's what personal accountability is. You shouldn't have to change locations or stop going to that restaurant. There shouldn't be. And what we noticed is my Nola's barber said the same thing, that the chicken. And we found a third person that said, and they went to 3 different locations. So this was at 3 different locations that people had a negative food experience from them. So that means it's coming from corporate. And that means that there has been a change in leadership at the corporate level for El Pollo Loco. So because people are now holding themselves